Hello, Fredak here. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, so it is Saturday, June the 28th. Saturday, June 28th. It's about 9 a.m. East Coast time. XRP is at about $2.19. Today is an interesting posting that we've got, and I am happy for all of you who have subscribed, and I hope you will derive something positive from this. First up, I want to thank you all for being here today. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there. Fredak has notes. It's Fred ACC, all one word. Hello, you gotta subscribe if you want to stay in the loop. Alrighty, Fredak has got notes. Not a lot, just a couple of scribbled words here. As always, I start off with these things warning people about the scammers. Oh my gosh, the scammers are everywhere. Just be really cautious of what you click on, what you go to. If you have a job at some location, use their computer to check things out that you're kind of sketchy on. Do not engage your computer, because one of my things is that online I don't save any of my passwords on anything, because that way if my system gets infiltrated, the scammers probably know how to go right in there and absorb solid quality and financial information, so I don't store anything on there. All that being said, alrighty, let's see what we've got over here. Where do I begin? First up, Fredak, it's knowledge is power. I've posted this from the very beginning. Knowledge is power. My postings are one and done. This is the closest thing to scripting. You're all welcome to see it. Nothing on the back, a couple of scribbled words on the front. Why? Because I know that I'm going to go through things and I'm going to forget stuff. It happens quite a bit. So, I scribbled down a couple of scribbled words, little trigger words, point me in the right direction. Let me start out with this. If there is something out there like Fredak, please let me know about it. Post it down below. By the way, you guys, I love the comments. You guys are great out there. Even the comments that are like anti-Fredak, they're pretty comical too. I do get a kick out of them. And I actually try to explore into some of the things that are said, whether it's on the positive note or the negative note. So yes, if you find something like Fredak that's pretty knowledgeable, please let me know about it and I will check it out. There's no end to the talking heads on YouTube that will tell you whatever you want to hear. Just look at the absolutely drastic headlines that people post. XRP to 0, XRP to 10,000. This, that, blah, 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 blah. It's XRP or real estate or whatever it might be. And I get it. They're looking to reel them in. They're trying to pull people into the boat. I'm not trying to pull anybody into any boat. I'm glad you're here. And my enjoyment will be down the road when the XRP runs like mad. And some of you comment and say, thanks, Fredak. I tuned in, subscribed. It helped me keep the faith. Because I get it. You could get worn down. Everybody's out there. I look at this different stuff from people, and it's like constantly, always like the hopium. And maybe I'm caught up in it too. I try to be aware of that. But I try to take a realistic approach. I've mentioned some things on my postings that were maybe not all in the positive light of XRP. Like, one of my concerns is if the Ripple company becomes too dominant. The U.S. government, the world governments, they could group together and say, okay, look, we've got to take this down a peg. They're controlling way too much. And those things happen. But I have strong faith in the Ripple management that they know what they're doing over there. Smart folks. My expectation is that they have a long-term game plan. So, like I had said, if there is something out there like FredAC that's not hawking pencils or t-shirts or this crap or that crap, FredAC's not I'm not hawking anything. If I ever am hawking something, I have stated that I will not sell my soul, and I will not sell your soul. That you have my word on. No links down below. I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm just some know-nothing FredAC that's trying to learn something new every day. And it's interesting how if you keep an open mind, you look at things from all different angles, step outside the box and look at it, you can derive something very interesting financially. Wish I had that ability on other things, but you got to go with what you got. And so what we're going to get into very shortly is very, very interesting stuff. And it kind of evolved from having an open mind and looking at things. Let's get into this here. Okay. So recently I just had a posting yesterday or the day before. And if you go in there and look at the 1640 marker, 16 minutes and 40 seconds, I mentioned that I'm going to be buying in with my IRA. I was talking about the XXRP ETF. The XXRP, that's the symbol for it, ETF. It started in early May. And probably 5, 6, 7 months ago, I've been posting about how ETFs are going to change the landscape. My thought process at the time, because I wasn't really seeing everything that's out there, and I'd be the first person to tell you, that's why I need these glasses. I don't see everything out there. I thought that would increase the volume on XRP, and these ETFs were going to start to, because they are regulated by the SEC, best price, which I have spoken about on here, it's on my postings, that as the individual investor, you are guaranteed to get the best price. There can't be other prices. They can't skirt you or duck your order or move it to the side or not show it, not post it. No. It has to be shown, it has to be posted. And if the price goes below your bid price or above your offer price, you have to be done by law. That's not the case right now with all these other different outfits. And I see that the slippage on the spreads, and I've spoken about this for those of you who have subscribed. You're starting to learn the everyday game. Okay, so let's get back into this XXRP ETF. And how did this enlighten me a little bit? And by the way, I did go in and purchase some at $23.66. Play a very straight hand. I don't own a lot, a couple of hundred. And I don't know if it's something I want to jump in and jump out, take 15-20% gains. I mean, think about it. You do that 4, 5, 6 times, and you're doubling your money. Nothing wrong with that. That was in my IRAs. My IRA, the Colonel's IRA. It's posted on there at the 1640 marker. Yesterday or the day before is posting. I don't even know what posting it was. But okay, let's go into the meat and potatoes. And what I tell you guys out there is always double check everything. Do not assume that FredAC is on point. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm selling some baloney for my own advantage. So you need to do your homework. Got to do your homework. Doing your homework. That's an important thing. Got to double check everybody. I don't care if it's your brother-in-law, if it's FredAC, whoever it might be. Double check everything. So I take a look at this XXRP ETF. And I try to match it up with what's going on with XRP. The XXRP is a 2X bull fund that's kind of like it's like owning XRP on steroids. And there'll probably be 3X ones out there shortly. Maybe there are already. I got to start looking at this stuff. So the bottom line would be that if I took, I don't know, $2,100 and I bought 1,000 XRPs, or if I put $2,100 and I buy 100 XXRP, the question in my mind is, if XRP runs, let's say it runs up to $8, $9, $10, $12, $12, let's go, it's 6 times where it's at. The XXRP is probably going to go from $25 to like $250. It's going to go way more than 6 times up. So that's probably the better bang that I'd get for my dollar. So I'm glad that I grabbed a couple of them. And I might look to grab some more of them on any kind of a downdraft with XRP. If you really think about it, the bottom line is that if you own XXRP, the ETF, the 2X Bull Fund, or if you own the XRP token, as far as I could tell, and I have to do my homework on it a little bit more, probably should have done more homework on it, which I will start to look into today, and whatever I find, I will report back to you guys on it. But do a little bit of homework, a little bit of research, take a look at the chart for XXRP. After it started in early April, it had a surge over $40 to like $42. That coincided with the exact timing of XRP having a minor surge to $2.50. That was in May. Mid-May, around the 10th to 12th of May, the XXRP surged over $40. XRP had gone up to $2.52. So with that type of a movement, to go up $20 in price, that's a pretty good bang for your dollar. That is the whole main structural point of this posting, is to make people become aware of the surroundings of what's out there financially. Me personally, I don't think it's a bad move to pick up 100, 200, 300 of them. Yeah, it's at probably about $25. XRP is having a little bit of a weekend surge up. Excuse me. Now, the downside to the XXRP is that it pretty much trades between 9:30 and 4 o'clock, Monday through Friday, when they ding, 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 ring the bell, the trading bell. Yes, there's pre-market hours, there's after-market hours till like 8 o'clock. Pretty much in those scenarios, you're probably going to have to hit the bid to sell or buy from the offering. It's the only way they're going to be able to do it, and it's going to fluctuate. If it's 6:30 East Coast time, PM, it's in the aftermarkets. If XRP is starting to have some kind of movement off of whatever reason it might be, if it's moving upwards, then the price of XXRP will be moving upwards. The ETF. Now that it's Saturday and Sunday, there's not a lot that I can do about it as far as I know. There's nothing I can do about to lock in any kind of gains or losses on my XXRP ETF. I don't own that much of it. I think that's what I buy. 300, 350 of them, something like that. Put in a limit price. I got hit on it. 23.66 mid-afternoon. Now there's going to be some other day trading 101 lessons put out there. It's not always about, if you look at the most recent posting that I had a day or two ago, I do discuss how you could try to bid in to buy in off of the bid price with the limit, a penny above what the rest of the crowd is at. Now what that starts to tell you is that if you put in to buy, let's say 500 XXRP, and the bid price is $25.72, and you put in to buy it's $25.73, and it's offered at $25.82, you become the highest bidder. Doesn't mean you own it. You're waiting to see if someone's going to sell to you. Now, there are times where you have to make an assessment, and you start to learn this stuff from watching these things. You learn the personality of the individual stock, the group stocks, the overall market, So let's just say you put in to buy 500 of XXRP with a limit bid price of $25.73. You're leapfrogging the others by 1 penny. And instantly you have a whole bunch of hosts that join you within seconds, split seconds. Because some of that stuff can actually be set up within the system that you're going to continuously keep matching the bid price. Or you might get someone who leapfrogs you. At any moment, somebody could put in a bid price to buy 700 at $25.74. So you're now 1 penny behind them. You still could get hit on it if somebody sells, I don't know, 2,000 at the market. They're going to wipe out the $25.74 700 shares bid, and then it's going to come to you and you're going to get your 500, and then it's also the remaining 800 is going to go down to the next price increment, $25.72. If this doesn't make sense, you got to replay it and start to have an understanding of the bid and the offer, the bid and the ask. There's games within the game. So like I say, if you start to leapfrog numbers and you keep getting leapfrogged somewhat instantly and for decent size, that's telling you something. Hello! The street is telling you that there are active, interested buyers in this thing. They're bidding for it. They want to be sitting there. They don't want to buy it from the offer price. Might be looking to buy 7,000 or 70,000 of them. If they buy it at the market, it depends on the level too. How many shares are offered at $25.82? How many are at $25.83, $25.84? There could be an updraft that it could just surge. If you go in there and hit at the market buy for 70,000 on something that has a relatively light volume, it could shoot up 7, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, 40 cents. Right up. So there are times where you might have to make a mental adjustment to say, you know what? XRP is surging, whatever news just came out. I'm not going to delay, I'm just buying it at the market. If you want to protect your market buy, you can put a market buy in with a limit price of $25.82 or make it 83 cents if you want to be sure that you. So that means if right before you hit the buy button, someone else takes out the $25.82 offering, the $25.83 offering, and it spurts up to $25.87 offered, you don't end up getting it. You actually become the highest bidder at $25.83, if that's what your limit buy order was at. And that's another weapon to kind of not get caught buying something that has an updraft that you're a split moment later. If you're 1/10, 1/100th of a second after somebody just took out 70,000 shares to buy of XXRP at the market, and it goes right on up, and if it drives it all the way up to $26.15, your order comes in right behind it. You just bought it at the market at $25.18 or 20 cents or wherever the next ones are there. And when you start to look at the level 2 stuff, you're going to start to see that the further away you go from where the action is at, the bid and the offer, the more updrafts and downdrafts you get in price, which is why I have professed that there are day traders out there that they start their morning off at about 9:15, 9:20 East Coast time. They're going to ring the bell at 9:20. It's 9:20 right now. In 10 minutes, they're going to ring the bell. They'll put orders in to buy 1,000 shares of ExxonMobil, maybe $1.50 below where it's bidding at, or Apple, or one of the big name things. Because if some entity out there goes in to sell 300,000 shares at the market and it has that momentary spike down, and you'll see it on the 1-minute charts or the intraday chart for different big name stocks, you'll see this super quick V straight down the price and went right back up. That means if you were in at one of those prices bidding, you would have got hit on that. And then they just sit back and they relax, they ring the bell, and they sit there and they watch their screen, and they wait for the automated messages. And pop, I just bought Microsoft. And then by the time that they look at it, it's probably usually back up where it had been bidding and offering at, and they're profitable on it now. They have to make a decision. Do I want to lock in the profit, just get out right now? or I want to see where it goes. All individual different things. But the point that I'm saying on all this is that there are times when you might not want to just sit on the sidelines. You might want to just take from the offering price. My suggestion is so that you don't get rung up to the moon on a price that you weren't prepared to be buying, is to put in a limit price. That way you either get it or you don't. And if you haven't gotten it, you can make a decision. You know what, I'm just going to cancel it then. Let me cancel it, get back out of the way. So the interesting thing to me is that from speaking about the ETFs and what I thought was going to occur a few months ago, the mindset that I had, maybe it was somewhat narrow-minded, I don't know, maybe I had the blinkers on like those horses. I don't see anything on the side of me. I wasn't thinking about the potential of what I've just spoken about today. That with a 2x bull fund, this thing on a 30 cents move up to $2.52, this thing went up 20 points. That is something worth looking into and thinking about. My strong belief is that if you buy the ETF, the XXRP, I don't think there's any covenants in there, but those are the things you always need to learn about. Is there any stipulations on there that they could deflate the price? Or is there a reset or anything that goes on with it, which I would very much doubt, but still something to think about. So in the very big picture of things, this is food. Hello, food for thought out there for all of you potential investors that want to make the monies. Am I better off sitting in an XXRP if I'm expecting a surge on XRP, the token, which for right now it's starting to seem like there might be some validity, because something like an XXRP 2x bull fund, if XRP surges to like $7, $8, $9, this thing's going to be easily over 100, 120, 150, 180. I don't even know what it's going to be at. So I got to look into all of this some more. Someone did post a quick comment about Car 54, where are you? And I really appreciate that. I found it to be a very comical show. Watch it with the little ones. Good, clean fun. Yeah, it's a little bit outdated. There's stuff about from New York City with the airport Idlewild. That was before JFK Airport. There's stuff about Khrushchev and about the different actors and actresses. There'll be little one-liners that are a throwback to yesteryear, somewhat from my era, but hey, listen, good, clean fun. I find it very interesting. A show like Car 54, you can find it on YouTube. They have enough time to develop a story, and it usually comes full circle back to the beginning of it in a very humorous way. Alrighty, well, I want to thank you all for being here. Hopefully you'll leave some comments down below. Smash the likes button, the don't likes button, whatever you think you got to do. Like I've said, if anybody knows anybody out there like Fred Ack, please let me know about it. I will definitely check it out. If it's just something with a one-sided opinion, because they're in this and they're in that and they're trying to promote it, that's all good. I'm not sure I'm looking for someone with a level head that looks at things for the good and the bad of it. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm mostly looking for opportunity to make the monies. Alrighty, well, I want to thank you all for being here today. May all your days be winning ones.